Heyyo Friendos, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit of an interesting one. I have one of my birthday gifts, the Flawless Base brush set from Nikkia Joy Cosmetics. I'm going to fill you guys in on what's going on in my personal life, so it will be a bit of a chatty video because some of you probably already know it's been over a week and some since I posted. So I kind of wanted to fill you guys in on what's been happening behind the scenes. And then at the very end, something that we have never done before on my channel. I'm going to show you guys how to make a very nice recipe, a hot drink that's wonderful in wintertime, or if you're feeling sick. It will be very short and it will be at the end. We will do the makeup stuff first and then everything else after that. If you are with it, friendo, then just stay tuned. So friendos, for my birthday, my sister gifted me the Flawless Base brush set from Nikkia Joy Cosmetics. As some of you probably remember, I had a very positive experience with the eye brushes that she gifted me earlier in the year. I don't remember if she gave that to me in 2021. I don't know. My life is a blur right now. But regardless, she gave me this great brush set. This is the case that it came in, and I'm happy to say that my items were packaged quite a bit nicer than the first set that I got. Now, granted, last time I believe she did buy the brushes individually. This time they came in a set. They came in the bag like this, and as you can see, they are wrapped better. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the little plastic off of these so we don't hear that crinkling the entire video, and then we'll get into the individual functionality of each of these brushes. Be right back. And friendos, I am hoping that it's not too blatantly obvious, but I am sick right now. I hope I don't sound nasally and gross. I had a rough week last week. Actually, the last 2 weeks have kind of been rough around the house. I'll get into that in a little bit, but let's just start with the brushes and then we can chat while I'm putting on the makeup. So in this set, we got a F04 bronzer brush, a F01 Luxe foundation brush, the F02 Luxe powder brush, the F05 tapered powder brush, the F03 angled contour, F07 precision highlight, and F06 precision powder. So there were 7 brushes included in this set. Ordinarily, if you were to buy them individually, they would cost you around $179. If you bought them in the complete set, you would get the makeup bag, all 7 brushes, and it would run you $145. These aren't cheap, but they're not exactly luxury price either. Each of them feels very, very soft. I'm most excited for the smaller brushes because I've told you guys before, I do have kind of a smaller face. Most facial makeup brushes are made kind of large, so happy to have all of them, but especially the smaller ones. So a big thank you to my sister for sponsoring today's video. So I'm going to start out with one of my favorite primers. This is Makeup Forever Pore Minimizer Step 1 Primer. I'm not going to harp on it too much because I've talked about this at length on my channel, so just going to put this down before we get started. Friendos, I'm going to start out today with the Bye Bye Foundation from IT Cosmetics. This is in the oil-free matte formula. I have been having a few breakouts, so I want to choose this to be my foundation today since it does not have oil. Okay, so starting out with the F01 Luxe Foundation. So right off the bat, I'm really impressed by how quickly it was able to blend and disperse all of my makeup so evenly. I do wish that it was a tad bit smaller. It was kind of hard to get in between my eyebrows because there's not a lot of room there. And getting the sides of my nose, it missed a few places. Sure, I can go back in there and like sort of delicately doctor that, but just wanted to bring that to your attention. For my contour, I'm going to go with the Milk Bionic bronzer that recently came out. I still hate how it gives like that liquidy residue when it comes out. Y'all know what it looks like. I ain't gonna say it. So, friendos, if you are wondering where I have been for like probably 2 weeks by the time this goes up, I've had a lot going on in my personal life. Justin, who is my best friend, my business partner, the other half of my editing duo, besides my sister, he got sick. And then soon after, Alexi got sick. Alexi is my 5-month-old Scottish Straight cat. It was very concerning when Alexi got sick because the day started out very normal for him and I had to go out, run some errands, and then come home. And when I came home, he was just acting kind of weird and was extremely sleepy, very lethargic, didn't want to play, and that's not like him. It's not like him to just lay down for like 4 hours and then wake up and not want to play. So I thought that was a little weird, but I thought, okay, like maybe he's got an upset tummy, or maybe he played too hard and maybe pulled a muscle or something and he's just sleeping it off. But before bedtime, he did not want to eat or drink anything. And so I tried to call my vet to see if I could get in to see her first thing in the morning. And unfortunately, they had 0 availability. So I scheduled an appointment with a completely different vet, and they called to reschedule the appointment for the next day, and that should have been a big red flag. But I had tried calling everywhere to see how soon I could get someone to see Alexi, and it was going to be max 4 days, and I didn't feel like we had 4 days. So the next morning was really strange. He still wasn't eating, still wasn't drinking, and he was limping. And during the night, he was sort of like stirring, like not being still while he slept, and just seemed miserable. And Alexi is a Scottish cat. They're a little bit on the clingy side, but he was like next level clingy, and it really seemed like he was actually scared. The vet that I spoke to over the phone let me know to try to get him to eat a little bit by serving him up some really gross, smelly, wet, canned food. She said normally like fish works best, and add some water to it, because the main thing is make sure that the cat stays hydrated. They can go a few days without eating. They can't go more than 3 days without drinking, typically, and it not cause them some sort of permanent or just serious damage to their systems. So I was able to get him to eat a little bit of canned fish with the water added to it before I took him in. And then, just so I don't forget, this angled contour brush really did a good job. It's very soft and it made everything look really smooth, and it didn't take off too much product. Sometimes contour brushes can really lift up a lot of product. This one did not do that. Next, I'll go in with my Pure Cosmetics Bronzing Act. This is called Matte Bronzer Light. Nothing could be further from the truth. This is definitely a radiant bronzer. And I'll be going in with the F04 bronzer brush. So I took him to the vet, and they said that they felt like we should do blood work, x-rays, the whole 9 yards. And that's exactly what they did. And strangely enough, the tests were completely inconclusive, because he didn't test positive for anything, and nothing looked weird on the x-rays and nothing looked weird on the blood work. But clearly he's feeling bad. He's now limping, and I'm kind of at my wit's end. So I got a different vet from the vet that I talked to on the phone that actually seemed concerned. When I went in, I say we because Justin came with me, because I was so upset I had to have him drive. I don't mean this in a mean way. Actually, maybe I'm just going to say it bluntly. If that's how the vet is every single day of her life in her career, she needs to choose a different career, because that vet was awful. I've definitely seen a few doctors in my day with like terrible bedside manner, but let me tell you, this lady had the absolute worst, and I'd never met a vet with awful bedside manner before. It just felt like she did not care what happened to Alexi. She was just there to collect a paycheck, essentially. Because one of the things that I ran by her, I said, Justin, who lives with us, he's been sick. He's been running a fever. He's had muscle aches. That was earlier in the week. I said, is it possible that he passed a virus to Alexi? And she said no, that there was no way, and that there has been no proof of any pet ever contracting a virus from their pet parent. Let me just tell you guys, a quick Google search will fill you in. That is not true. I don't want to bring up like what's going on in the world. There are a myriad of viruses that you can pass to your pet and that can pass to you. And the CDC actually specifies that on their website. If you look up, it does specifically detail that you can pass a virus to your pet. And I'm not really sure what to use for my concealer. We don't really have a brush for that in this set. I'm just going to grab my Merit brush for that since it is on the smaller side, and we'll apply the concealer. But yeah, this vet, she didn't seem empathetic. She didn't seem insightful. I brought up several things. I was like, is it possible that he injured himself? Is it possible that he has a tummy bug or some sort of bacterial infection in his stomach? And she was just like, yeah, we can't really say because, the tests came back, and it's just hard to say. It's just hard to say. And I get that, like, sometimes that is going to happen where a test comes back and it's inconclusive and you don't really know. But this person couldn't even come up with a single explanation. So ultimately, I had to leave with just getting him some subcutaneous fluids. And I grabbed a ton of canned cat food to try to get him to at least get in more water. And I was very panicked, so that's why there wasn't a whole lot of videos, or that's why there was no videos last week, was in between everyone being sick and then Alexi. So fast forward, Alexi's fine now, thank God. It was just at one of those points where I felt like basically all I could do was be positive, encourage him to drink and eat, and just pray that my little boy was going to be okay. So over the next few days, he got a little bit better each day, started eating again, started playing again. But yeah, it was definitely a very tense, scary time for me. So then after losing so much sleep, I ended up getting sick. My birthday was somewhere in between Alexi getting better. So Justin got better, Alexi got sick, Alexi got better. My birthday came, and unfortunately, I didn't get to see my family because of Justin being sick. I told them that probably wasn't a good idea for them to come around. So I haven't got to see the majority of my family and really and full on celebrate my birthday. Now, I'm not a huge it's my birthday, yay type person. It really is just another day to me, but I've learned over the years to sort of reflect on my birthday and to think about if I have grown from one year to the next. Not to get too deep or philosophical, but I feel like we only have so much time on this earth. So it's a really good thing to think about what all you've accomplished or have not accomplished within your last turn around the sun. But what I will say briefly is I'm very grateful for everything that has happened over the last year. I did have some rough spots last year, but I definitely realized a lot even within this last week that I'm very blessed to have the people in my life that I do. Without them, I would not have started recording and doing and making videos like I had wanted to do for years. I wanted to do this for years. And so having my sister's encouragement and honestly, her generosity, helping me out, getting makeup, her taking her time and editing the videos, and then having Justin there to be my voice of reason, to help with editing, and just to be there when times get rough, that really did make me very grateful. And I feel like both of them have really encouraged me to become closer to what I need to be. So I'll leave it off at that. I won't go on any further. And of course, there's other people in my life that have encouraged me too, but for brevity's sake, we'll just touch on my editing team. I really appreciate them, and thank you guys. I'm going to use my precision powder under my eyes, and for that, I'm going to use my Laura Mercier powder for that. This is the original translucent loose setting powder. I wasn't going to buy another one of these, but Sephora actually offered this as a freebie. So this is what's going under my eyes. And we'll be using the F06 Precision Powder. So I did record some things over the last 2 weeks that probably have not gone up at this point. And if that's the case, what I'm probably going to do today is show you guys a really cool recipe that my grandma taught me. It's a drink that you can drink if you have a sore throat, as I do today. And it's very soothing, so that will probably be at the end of this video. So since I am looking a little bit sick and pale, I'm going to bronze up my face a little bit more, I think. This is a crappy BH Cosmetics bronzing palette. Just gonna dip into the middle one here. And this is on the F04 bronzer brush. Interestingly enough, there is no blush brush in here. So I think for blush, I'll use the F05 tapered powder brush. There she is. I'll go ahead and reveal one item that I got for my birthday. The Soft Pop Powder Blush from Makeup by Mario. This is in Mellow Mauve. So pretty. Alright, now on the F02 Luxe Powder Brush, I'm going to go in with my Rare Beauty Soft Radiant Setting Powder and just lightly dust that all over my face. I've got to say, these are so soft and nice. I've been really impressed so far. And then lastly for highlighter, I'm going to go into the Midnight Sun palette from Pat McGrath and use the Skin Show shade for my highlight. I'm loving that she came out with a precision highlight brush like this. Like, it is perfect for someone like me who doesn't have very big prominent cheeks and I just want very precise placement for highlight. Because that's normally what I go for if I'm putting on highlight. So yeah, also for my birthday, we did go to a really nice restaurant. We went to the Big City. And I'll detail that more in another video. I think I'm going to have a more vlog style video coming soon, maybe 2. Because, like I said, I did actually film quite a few like short but fun things over the last 2 weeks that I want to share with you guys. I never did get around to trying out this Floss Lip Advocate, so let's give it a go today. Super cheap, tacky packaging. Did not like that. It's too streaky. I'm going to go in with the Han Skincare Cosmetics and Raspberry Chardonnay. This is their lip gloss. And Friendos, I guess we'll call it there for today when it comes to the makeup. So my thoughts on all of the brushes. So nice, so soft. Some of them are synthetic, some of them are natural, some of them are a blend of the two. They definitely have a very Rephr feel, so if you've ever tried Rephr brushes, they'll probably remind you of that sort of just air soft texture, really good at blending. The only brush that wasn't my favorite was the foundation brush. Now, it did a good job of spreading out makeup, and I think if you have a larger face, you'd probably really like this. Mine is small, so just so you can see, if I place this down, that's pretty much a third or at least a fourth of my face in one, like in one swipe, I would be getting a fourth of my face. So it's kind of hard to like get into spaces like the ridge where your nose meets your cheek. So yeah, I do wish they had a slightly more precise option because they did have a lot of precise options for all the other brushes. So that was interesting. Love that highlighter brush. Love the one that I used for blush, which I believe was the F05 tapered powder. That one's really nice as well. I'll definitely be reaching for these again and again. One thing that I do like to make mention of though, these are made in China. So I do think that the price tag is a little bit steep. These are hand stacked. They're not laser cut, which means that they typically turn out softer than a laser cut bristle, but still, it's a little bit pricey for something made in China. Plus I really am trying to cut back on purchasing from China in general. It's next to impossible living here in the States because a good deal of our products are made in China, but I do try to cut back where I can. Still though, very generous of my sister to gift me with these, and again, I really did like them. So now for the next part of the video, we're going to do something a little different, something I've never done before on my channel. We're going to have a little in the kitchen segment where I show you guys how to make Russian tea my grandma style. And if you like that kind of thing, let me know. I can do more. I do about 80% of the cooking in this household. So while I'm no professional, I still know my way around the kitchen. So on to that.
So friendos, for today's Russian tea recipe, you'll need a cinnamon stick, 2 lemons, 8 cups of water, 3 cups of orange juice, 10 cloves, and 4 black tea bags. We begin by cutting the lemons and getting out all of the seeds. All of the other ingredients are easy to fish out later, but not the seeds. They are hard to see once the water gets darker. Next, we add the water and lemons to the pot, followed by 10 cloves. So this goes without saying because I know you guys are too intelligent to take this recipe the wrong way. When I initially recorded this, it was 2 weeks ago before anything had happened between Ukraine and Russia. This is just a good recipe my grandma taught me for if you are feeling sick like we've all been around here. And after serious debate on how to make your cinnamon stick look aesthetically pleasing, just give up and drop it in like you give 0 f***s. We place the pot on the stove and let it roar. We want to let it go until we see the lemons start to break apart and the pulp swim off freely into the hot tub. Next, we remove the boiled water from the heat because it's time to cast the net and see what we catch. We want to leave in our citruses and remove the hard spices and add our bags of black tea. We don't want to put the tea in while the water is still boiling because it can burn the tea and make it taste bitter. The lemons do enough of that on their own. After letting the tea steep for 5 minutes, we take out the sachets and pour in the orange juice. And don't forget to ruin the rest of your clothes by dumping orange juice all over them like I did. Trust me, the recipe just won't be the same. Worth noting that if you pour your orange juice in before the tea is done steeping, it's possible to cool down the water too much and make the black tea flavor weak. Next, add your sugar. I was tasting mine along the way, and those lemons, girl, they were surprisingly acidic, so I ended up using the whole cup to balance out the sourness. After stirring it up, it's time to enjoy. This recipe is not just for when you're sick, it's a great holiday drink as well. For special occasions, I recommend doubling up on the spices and adding a couple more bags of the tea for added caffeine. Not only is it delicious, it will make your home smell divine. Enjoy, friendos!
And friendos, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I have certainly missed catching up with you guys, talking about makeup, getting in the studio and playing with new products. I was gifted quite a few things for my birthday, and I have more to come because I still haven't seen the majority of my family members. But everyone knows to buy me makeup, so I'll have a few new things to review here in the very near future. It might be a little bit of a lighter month because I did rack up a pretty big bill with Alexi's vet bill, but that's okay. I'm just glad that my little boy is okay now. Thank you all so much for choosing to spend your time here with me. I greatly appreciate it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me to grow. And if you haven't done so already, I hope that you will subscribe. Because if not, we'll both have to live in the sorrow of never knowing what could have been. Okay, guys, bye.